evening, y'all. So, Orlando here. Got to looking through my videos and everything the other day. Got to realizing I have actually been putting out these videos and posting them on YouTube for over 4.5 years at this point. Didn't realize it had been quite that long. Surprised me to realize that. So, got to really thinking about it. And one thing I did do was take a look back at those first 2 videos I did. And, well, anybody that's done these videos knows your first few videos, it takes a little bit to get your style going. Kind of figure out what you're doing, everything. And those first 2 rations that I did not do them justice. I mean, those were some really good rations, and I didn't film good. It's all my fault. Like I say, I was learning, so I thought, with it being as long as it has been, that it was time to go back and revisit those 2 rations again. So I thought tonight we would start out and go back and take another look at that Spanish dinner. So what I have here is a dinner module B4, and as you can see there, it has an expiration date of October 2022. So this one is a fairly fresh meal. Now, the last time I did a menu 2, this time I'm doing a menu 4. And the one thing about the Spanish meals, they do not come with any sort of cutlery or anything like most of the other meals do. So since they don't come with a cutlery, I'm going to use my lovely Minotaur MRE spork that I got from Minotaur Trading Company. We're going to put that to use today. And in case you haven't seen this thing, it has a nice little hidden thing. Not only is the little handle here a whistle, but it hides a knife blade. So you got a little bit of everything in one. So let's pop this thing open here, see what we got going. Now, I'm going to say this again. I said it in the first video, and it still stays the same. The thing that I like the most about these Spanish rations is the fact that they all still come in cans, like the old-fashioned C rations used to. So let's take a look at this one and see what all we got. Luckily, it does come with, put that up there so I don't cut myself, because that is a pretty sharp blade. So, of course, we come with our soup. There's that information if you want to take a look at it. We have our ration sheet that shows what is in here. If you can read Spanish, there you go. If you can't read Spanish, then we will turn to the English section. Alrighty, so this one has a bag of vegetable instant soup, which we had already poured out there. We have our tin of beef and peas, which is this one right here. Carne de vacuno con guisantes. We have our tin of white tuna fish in oil. That's going to be our octagonal can here. Atún blanco. We're going to have our tin of fruit cocktail in syrup. Right there you go. And you notice everything does have pop tops, so no can opener needed. And of course we've got our tin of pate. Right here you go. Pate la pimenta, which means pate with peppers. Now, we also have a bunch of extras here. Now, the water purification tablets are always going to be in little small pieces like that. So there's your water purification. Going to have the combustible fuel tablets right here. And I'm going to show you a trick to those in a few minutes. We're going to have the vitamin C powder. And there's still debate as to whether or not these are supposed to be a drink or What I have heard is to use them as a light drink, just a little bit of water, not a whole lot. So we have all 4 of those. Because unfortunately it does not tell you how to do it. Is the only information that it gives is isotonic powder with vitamin C. Take 2 doses per day. Each dose is composed of 4 bags. Do not exceed the recommended daily dose. It does not say how to mix it, how to take it, etc., etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix up some water for the soup and heat it up. And the rest of it is going to go into the water bottle with these 4 to make 1 solid dose. Now we've got our toothpaste, and of course if you had the breakfast you'd also have the toothbrush to go with it. We didn't have the breakfast, so we don't have a toothbrush, so this will just get set to the side. Have our matches. Looks just like the ones out of the USMREs, but they're not DD Bean and Son. These are JPE Trade Company SA. Have our hand disinfectant. Have our chewing gum. Oh, I just dropped that one. We have our paper. 10 sheets of paper for whatever need you need. And of course we have our stove, which we've got another stove as well, so we're going to have a little fun with this. So, alright, so we're not going to need the toothpaste. I'm going to keep the hand sanitizer and this out. Papers we're going to stick in here. These we're going to put away for right this moment. And we're only going to need 2 of these, so I can stick the 3rd one back in there. Set this to the side. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the stove set up, because we have peas to heat up, or beet with peas, and we have soup to heat up. So, if you have never seen one of these stoves, they're really fun. And what you do, you bend one side over and the second side over. Gives you a nice little rail there. Bend this side in and this side in. Then do the same on the other side. That gives you a nice little box to deal with. And then those other 2 tabs, just bend them down. And there you go. You got a nice little stove that'll set up and burn. All right. So, one of the biggest complaints I hear about these fuel tabs is they're so hard to start. And I'll be the first one to tell you, yeah, they can be hard to start. They're a pain in the ass sometimes. Well, they're a pain in the butt sometimes, pardon my language there. So, I'm going to show you the trick that I do. Now what I do is I'll go ahead and pop the stove piece out here. Now when you open these, you'll notice a very fishy smell. There's nothing you can do to get rid of that. So, you know what? Before I start all this, give me just a second. To grab my gum out. Alright, so what I like to do with these things is I'll take a couple of matches here, open this end back up a little bit, set them right there, take a couple more, set them right beside it with a little bit of a gap. See how I got that nice and set up there? Then I take my fuel tab, set it on top of them. Then Come back here. And with just 4 matches, you don't have a burning fuel tab. And I have seen people waste a whole pack of matches trying to get it to light. But putting those underneath and letting it fire from below, plus giving that little bit of air underneath, that gives it that just enough oomph to get it going. So let's dump this in our trash bin. Now, like I said, we're going to need some water as well. So, brought out my second little handy tap, on my handy stove here. This one was a nice gift from Carlos. He sent that to me, and I still owe him some stuff I haven't sent back yet. Well, shucks, I dropped my hand sanitizer. And now I can't reach down to grab it, so we might just have to do without it this time. Yeah, we're gonna do without the hand sanitizer. Well, I was going to show you a trick on how to use it as well, but it can wait. So instead, we'll look at the other trick that I do. That's if you've got something of your own. If you're not using those matches, you can use a different style of matches. I have here these Strike Anywheres. We're going to put them to use on the second tab. But before I do that, let's take our meat and peas here. We're going to pop the top to let some ventilation in. And then set it like that on top of the stove. And we got it heating. So now, let's take our second fuel tab here. This one's broken up, so it's going to be a little bit easier. We'll take some of these Strike Anywhere matches and do the exact same thing I just did, but this time with the wooden matches. Alrighty, so I readjusted the stove a little bit, and as you can start hearing, there's some simmering going on in the package, so we're good to go there. I've got the other fuel tab started, so now let's get the water going, so we'll have some soup. Alright, it's about 6 ounces of water. As you can see, we got a good amount left over in the water bottle, and like I said, we're going to dump our packets of vitamins in there. It says to do all 4 of them, so we're going to see how it does as a drink. Let me move those. Alrighty, 3, Now just so you know what this looks like, it's just a basic powder. It smells kind of orangey, almost kind of like old-fashioned orange baby aspirin to be exact. So we're just going to do 3 of those, see how it does with just 3. Save 1. Alright, so I've got it mixed up. That's 3 packets. We're going to save the other one. That is really weak. I'm sorry, it doesn't hardly taste like anything except slightly salty water. And the reason I said we're going to save this one is I'm curious what this tastes like on its own. So let's find out. Salty baby aspirin. About the only thing I can use to describe it. Salty baby aspirin. So, yeah. Not a big fan of that. I can definitely see it giving you the vitamin C, but well, just in case, I brought a glass out so you could see about what this looks like. So let's take a look here. It looks like it'd be a nice refreshing beverage, but it's bland as anything. So alright, so as we can see, our soup is boiling, or soup water. So let's go ahead and get that mixed up. That's just vegetable soup. Alright, get the nice and empty packet. Alright. Got our napkins, so we'll have them. I'll close this knife before I hurt myself. Alright, let's stir our soup real quick. Now the good thing about these soups sorry, but it's just hot enough. I don't really want to grab it without a little something. So the good thing about these soups, as you can see, they have croutons and everything in them. So let's set our stove to the side. As you can see, that made a nice, thick soup with vegetable pieces, crouton pieces. Nice. All right. And our beef and peas are done. Oh yeah, nice and hot. All right, we'll give that a second. Come back to it. All right, so while we're waiting on that, we're going to take a look at our other two pieces here. Our tuna. Now, all Spanish come with some sort of seafood. Either it's tuna, mackerel, or squid, and assorted sauces. Now, this one doesn't want to pop, so there we go. Alright, as you can see, this is pretty much just a straight up hunk of tuna in oil. I'm going to have all the neighborhood cats around. I'm pouring some of this oil off so that you can see a solid piece of tuna. It's almost kind of like chicken breast, but it's tuna. You can tell by the smell. Now, as you know, I'm not a big fan of canned fish, but I like you guys, so I'll try it for you. And see, that's not half bad. It doesn't have the usual fishy taste that tuna normally does. Like when you open a pack of canned tuna or one of the new pouches, you can tell it's fishy. And when I opened this, I could smell it, but it doesn't really taste like it. It's actually really meaty. I could eat on that for a while. I really could. Well, I say I'm not a big fish fan, but you see me. I'm going to town on this. Better set that to the side. I'm going to try the rest of this. Alright. That was really good. I am shocked. That was some really good tuna. So, my second favorite thing is the pate. The only thing I hate about the pate is they don't include crackers with every meal. You get one pack of crackers, pan galeta, with breakfast. It's supposed to last you through the day. Unfortunately, I don't have those, so we're just going to try the pate by itself. Alright, and as you can see, it's a nice smooth pate. You can still see the lid indentations. Goes really nice, so that would have smoothed out smooth on a cracker. You know, I said in my first video, that has to be one of the best pates I have ever tried. here we are over 4.5 years later. I've tried a lot of different pates from a lot of different countries. I'm sorry, it's still my favorite. It's still, to me, the best tasting pate in all of the rations. So, Spanish, y'all knocked it out of the park. That pate is some of the best I have had. Now, I could literally just give me a can of that, a can of the French cheese, and a pack of crackers. I could go to town. And that's all I'd need. So, all right. So our next step here, let's take a look at our soup. And like I say, that makes a nice thick soup. I could have added some more water and thinned it down some, I'm sure, but I like my soups nice and thick. And you can see the croutons in there. Really nice and flavorful. Just nice to take you a nice big sip of soup. At night when it started cooling down, this would be great. Right now, with it being kind of warm as it is here, not as much, but you can see, I don't know if it's a crouton or a piece of potato. Let's find out. Potato. And you can see other vegetables down in there too. So, they're good with the soup. Nice. That is really nice. Alright. Let's try. See if this is hot enough or cool enough to handle now. Alright. So what we have here is our peas and meat. Last time it was meatballs. This time it's actual hunks of meat. As you can see, it is actual meat pieces. So, very happy about that. There's some fat on the end, so you can see it is hunks. Let's give this a try and see what we think. Not bad. If anything, could have used a little hot sauce. You can see right there how good the meat pieces are. Yeah, but the only thing it needs is some hot sauce and it'll be good. Alright, there's my vitamin C for the day, or at least one dose of it. And now the dessert they give you, one of my favorites, fruit cocktail. Which looks just like a good old-fashioned canned fruit cocktail. Peaches, pears. It's a good old-fashioned fruit cocktail. See a piece of cherry floating in there. Of course, I can't reach it, but... Alright, folks, well... That's the Spanish Ration revisited 4.5 years later to see what it's like. Personally, it's still good. Still one of my favorite meals. I still like the nostalgia feeling you get from actually having the cans and everything, so I'm a huge fan of that. But I can understand weight concern where that could be an issue, and I do kind of miss the crackers for the pate. That would have been, that just would have made it perfect. So, well, it's a nice cool night for once. I'm gonna finish my dinner if these flies don't have me for dinner first, and y'all have a good one.